Hi guys, thank you so much for watching our videos. I'm here with Carol Roth. How are you, Carol?
I'm exhausted. How are you, Sal?
I'm on the same boat a little bit, but you know
Fabulous.
what? We make it work.
Exactly, exactly. But what we're talking about dolls, so that gives us a little
Yes,
extra
thank God.
energy.
Poppy Parker is here and she's ready to say hi.
Oh my God, isn't she just so beautiful?
We're all Poppy addicts out here.
I mean, how could you not be, right? That
Yeah,
face is just, I
she's
mean,
the
it's
girl.
she is the it girl. No pun
Yes,
intended.
yeah. So Carol Roth, for those of you who may not know her already, is the Dudley Club founder and therefore the expert. So I figured today we're going to ask her some questions about the W Club because a lot of us are joining for the first time this year. Not me, but a lot of us are. And we have a few questions for her. So can you just give us a little bit of information on the W Club in general as to why you started it?
Absolutely. So I started this. I mean, I think we're in what are like 17th year or something now. Maybe it's the
Yeah.
18th. I don't know. I can't keep track. But basically, fashion royalty had just come on the scene, and there was a lot of information out there in different places. This was before social media. It was a very different landscape. And so a lot of collectors were saying it would be really great if we could get a club just even for fashion royalty. And so I took their suggestions and I chased down Integrity Toys, Jason Wu, and the Newsom family. And it took about a year to get rolling. But in 2006, we actually debuted the club at basically the same prices now, offered one exclusive. And we've really evolved to being the customer core for the company on an outsourced basis. The club is separate from Integrity, but what's really cool is we're the collector's voice at the table. So we take everything that we hear from collectors directly through data and whatnot, and then we go back and we tell the design team and we tell the executive team and we tell the marketing team, and we really try to help them make decisions based on what the customer wants. Now, this is the most challenging job in the world. I'm not even kidding, because we have collectors from literally all over the world, every single time zone, every different age group, every different background. So the collector base in and of itself doesn't all want the same things and covers a whole slew of dolls. It covers not just fashion royalty, but New Face, Happy Parker, East 59th, Meteor, whatever licenses and collaborations Integrity is doing. So we do our best to try to get the collectors what they want most of the time. And we say we make everybody happy some of the time. That is the W Club motto. But I think for $50, we try to provide just a tremendous amount of value to collectors and hopefully a really fun experience as well.
Well, that's one of the big reasons that I like this company a lot. It's that you guys do listen to the collectors because I feel like, you know, a lot of people don't. So it's always great when you're like, oh, I wish they would do this, or if we don't like something, we're pretty vocal about it. And I think we're
Yeah.
pretty vocal about it on social media now. And you guys like work on it and we see the reflection on the actual product when it comes out. So I think that's pretty cool. And actually in my notes, I was like, is it still $50? And that's awesome considering inflation.
Yeah, it's funny. We actually had at one point in time where it was $80 if you wanted to do, because we had a licensed product and we had separated those out. But now you just get everything under the banner for $50, and it's one time a year. So that's our philosophy is that we're exclusive, but not exclusionary. So anybody who wants can join. You can join with as many memberships as you want, but we only open that registration period for a short window during the year, and then you're locked in for the year. And so if you miss it, then you have to wait a whole other year to join. So you definitely don't want to miss out.
No, but it's totally worth it because that's what I tell people all the time. You want to get them through the club and you want to pay retail because second market is tough. And I think it's worth it just to do it, get the dolls you want at the price, and it comes out to even out with that $50 fee. I think
Oh, I should
Yeah.
certainly hope so. And too, I mean, even the stuff that we do for the public, there's special pricing. So there have been some things that have been offered, to the public at the same time throughout the year. And those things are usually priced 10, 15, or $20 higher to the
Yes.
public than they are to the club. So either you're not going to get it at all at retail because it's exclusive to the club and the club has just gobbled everything up, or if you do have the opportunity at a retail price, the retail price you're paying is higher. So from a financial value standpoint, and I'm a finance and economic pro, I definitely think we blow that away. But just the reality is, you 3 different upgrades that you can get at registration, 5 made to order dolls throughout the year. You get to the head of the line on a lot of other things. It's not guaranteed, but we do make a lot of stuff available or primarily available to the club from Integrity's offerings throughout the year. You get first to know information. So there are a lot of like other fun things as part of the experience that kind of add from a qualitative standpoint. So there's the good
Yeah.
quantitative reason, but there's also the qualitative reason. And the other thing I will say, and because we're the ones talking. I mean, you are a fabulously talented designer.
Thank
You're a small
you.
business owner. Like, we really support the ecosystem and the small businesses that are around Integrity. There are a lot of brands that, try to tamp everything down and say, no, 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 you can't do these things and you can't use our products as models and whatnot. And we are so in awe of the incredible creativity and talent that is among our collectors. And we try to do whatever we can to make them shine and support them and love to see them. And that's actually how you and I met, Sal, right on stage.
Yeah.
When you won a design competition.
Yeah.
So, all those kinds of things to let our collector base shine.
Well, thank you for the flowers. And I was actually talking to Allie not too long ago. I don't know how in the world we just bonded over food and chefs and everything, but I was telling her that one thing that I do appreciate about the company, it's the support for small businesses, one, and most of all, like the support of people using the dolls to sell their clothing or to sell their items, whether it's on the forum or in the outside force. Because as of last year, around December or maybe even January, some companies were not letting people use their dolls to sell their outfits. I was like, this is insane. I did post a story saying Integrity Toys would never. And I have to say, I really appreciate that because that's what I started doing during the pandemic, a lot of designs. And I use you guys as dolls to sell my fashions. And instead of it being like, why are you using our dolls or anything like that, it was like, go for it. You can do it. Like, good for you. Like, so that I think that's my favorite part about the
Yeah,
company. I
it's
have,
a win-win, and it goes back to being it's a collector centric company. I started as a collector. I heard about the idea of people wanting a club from collectors. The guys on the design team are collectors, so there really is this collector centric mentality, and I hope for the people who have been in the club that shows up in a lot of different ways.
oh, it totally does. And we're really appreciative of it. And the guys really are really talented. We have 3 dolls. We have Alejandra, the Mexican representation. And that too, I love that there's representation for Mexicans. Uh, Alejandra's a transgender woman, and there's that representation as well. We have Eugenia and Poppy, and they're all 160 and $30 deposit, non-refundable.
Correct. Correct.
And I think it's a great idea to join if you want to get those prices. Because no, I'm sure you've seen it, not directly maybe, but a lot of people who miss out on the membership and then they buy the dolls at a 30% markup rate or sometimes even 50% markup rate, and you're like, you could have
Yeah.
just joined, man.
And one thing I talked about, we had sort of an open event that was available I think, I don't remember if it was just the club or for everyone when I talked about this, but one of the things when I talked to Integrity about this coming year is that, based on shifts in the economy and things like that, the edition sizes are actually going down this year. So that's just another thing to think about in terms of what the demand might be and what the pricing. It's not like there's going to be, if there was something that was 2,000 pieces last year. The year before that's probably dropped to 1,500, and 1,500's probably dropped to 12, and so on and so forth. So they also respond to the dynamics in the market, understanding that they can't guarantee that you're going to preserve your value, but they want people to feel like the products that they're buying are worth the value.
And limited and
Yeah,
also
and obviously that does not apply to the made to order dolls, because we
no.
make them expressly for you. If you put down your deposit, Integrity Toys is going to make that doll for you, in particular.
But that's one great thing I like. I personally do like exclusive dolls. I'm not even gonna lie. It feels good to have something that's limited. But at the same time, I feel like it's great to have a doll that, everybody wants and they can have, like Alejandra, she was so exclusive the first time that she came out, and now everyone has a chance. So I
And that
do,
was one of the things, is that we took into consideration, who were some of the characters that people are asking for, and we tried to make those available when we can to the club if there's like a really big push. And because Alejandra has been so special, the first mainline trans character, she is Latina. Everybody really wanted her, and the first two times she appeared, she was more exclusive and just sold out really quickly. This was an opportunity now for everybody to get her, but also in a different incarnation, so it doesn't take away from the dolls that other people have gotten previously.
yes, exactly. So I'll have my one that I love that is really exclusive, and the one that, like we all can love. For
Exactly,
sure.
and then now she has like all the different hair colors, so she can be like her own version of Charlie's Angels.
Well, Carol, I do have friends who are gonna get extras to reroute. Might be one.
We're not going to name them, but
No, we're not. Perfect. So, no, that's another thing too. If you get multiple memberships and you get multiple chances to buy the dolls, and another perk, Carol, that you tell us all the time about, it's that you get more. Well, you actually don't push for it, but you do make us aware of it, which is great. You get more chances to win the lottery dolls, which are the really, really exclusive ones. So if you have more memberships, you have more chances to get those dolls.
And let's just clarify, if you're not familiar, these are right to buy lotteries. So if you're entering the lottery, we don't actually give you the doll. You
Yes.
just get the chance to purchase the dolls. But it is true, if you have multiple memberships, you have more entries to be able to order. And we do allow you to make a comment. If you just still want one of them, you can put a note in the comments that say, I want to enter multiple times to improve my chances, but if I win, I really just want one of them. Or you could say, I really want multiples of them. You don't have to say anything, and then you can have multiple chances at
Yeah,
winning.
it's
And so
totally
we
up to your
really,
discretion.
yeah, we try to accommodate people, and we know people have different views and philosophies on this. So again, we're just doing our best to try to accommodate people in general the best way we think makes the most sense based on our experience. And anyway, we've been doing this for, as I said, I think it's 17 years.
Yeah,
I
it's a
lose track. Maybe
while.
it's 18. I don't know. But yeah, it's a long time. So we have a lot of experience, and really do understand most of the time what the collectors want. And if we're wrong, which every once in a while we do get it wrong, we try to adapt and do what we can to set that up. The biggest challenge that we have, as I said, is just that different people want different things.
Yes, and when it's a worldwide market, I can imagine like trying to appease everyone. But you guys do a great job at it too, so it's appreciated. And okay, so here's a big one, the one that's causing so much controversy that everyone's convention. What's going on? What's gonna happen? People, I literally had someone message like, "Are you going to the convention in Boston?" And I was like, "What? What?"
Okay.
I was like,
there's
I,
there's no
I
convention in Boston.
exactly. I had to go back and watch the Q&A that you did with Elaine, the introduction to the club, and I was like, I didn't see anything. But I said, I'm just gonna ask Carol, it's straight from
Yeah.
the source. What's going on?
Okay, so Integrity has decided that they're sort of dipping their toe back into events. There's a whole slew of reasons. This was not a decision that was taken lightly, but they
Mhm.
know that people do want to do something in person. So there is going to be a smaller footprint event. that is happening in the DC metro area. So I know some people might think that Boston and DC are by each other. They're not
No,
particularly
they're not.
by each other. They're in different locations. But at any rate, that's going to be in the middle of July, I believe. And they're still finalizing some details. I'm hoping in the weeks to come, after the club officially opens, that we should have some more information on the final details for that. But this is a way to kind of dip the toe back in the water. So that's going to be a smaller footprint event. We don't know exactly, as I said, all the specifics. The one thing we do know, based on our lobbying, is that they did promise a color variation of one of the dolls that's going to be exclusive to that event will be exclusive to the club. So how that runs, again, I don't know, but we did lobby for that and we did get that. So that's kind of the first event. And then there's going to be a second event that was more like the Stay Tuned online event we had this past year with exactly with a different theme. And I don't know, again, the specifics of how it's going to run, but just the scope of it and the general feel. And that's going to be online and that's going to be available just to club members. So those are the kind of the two different things. And this does not mean that there's not going to be a convention. I think that there's really a hope that there can be a return to an in-person convention. I cannot guarantee it, but I know that it's something that collectors want. I know it's something that Integrity wants to make happen, and so hopefully all the stars can align. And this interim step will be a good way to kind of get some people out, maybe not hit everyone, and then have something that's more normalized. Fingers crossed for 2024. But again, can't guarantee. That's just the latest and greatest off the presses.
Okay, because we don't want any like gossip or rumors. I was like, I'm gonna ask the source.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I say. People are going to make up things anyway. But that's the reality of it. So you can come back to this video and hear the reality of it.
Yeah. Well, as an East Coast boy, I hope I get in. But if you hear a little boy screaming all the way to Chicago, you'll know why. No, but that's an event that's just going to be for W Club members, right?
So it is primarily W Club members will have first dibs on it. I think there are a couple of slots that the family is holding aside for whatever, but the majority of the greater majority of all slots will be prioritized to W Club members. And again, how that comes about, I don't know. It doesn't guarantee if you're in the club that you're going to get in, but it means that for most of the slots, you will have that first access. And we just don't know. We don't know based on the specs of it, how many people will want to do it, because this is going to be, as I said, a small thing. One day, inclusive. I don't know what part of the day or how that works, but this is not a multiple day kind of thing. So that's kind of what it's shaping up based on the latest information that I have.
It was great to get the correct information because, even though it's a one-day event, my best friend who's in Sweden is like, I'm going.
Okay,
You can spend
that's
some
great.
here and, let's just hope we can get in or we can do the second chance or, it is what it is. But worst case scenario, we don't get in, we'll have the color variation, like you said.
Yes.
And you will have more detail on whether that's going to be a lottery event or a sign up event later on, right?
Yeah, we're trying to sort it out. As I think I said on the town hall, I think that however they decide to sort it out, lottery is probably going to be the way that we go for this particular thing, because we do anticipate there will be a lot of different people in a lot of different places, and we want to not make people have to show up at one particular time for something of this scope, but you never know. I can't guarantee. I'm just guessing that's probably what we'll do.
That's more information than the wrong one we had not too long ago. I'll even be keeping that on my prayers, so I'm hoping that I can just drive to the events.
Everyone who's watching, put good vibes out for Sal. And just so that you guys know too, because I think this is helpful, the lotteries are all conducted by one of our liaisons. This particular one happens to be my sister, and she is a gambler herself. So she's very into fairness of systems. So you can pray to her, but I never know who wins anything. And she's very on the up and up about that. And she's not a collector. She comes from, but she's been working with us for a really long time. So she understands.
And I think that's a great thing. It's someone who's totally not involved, so don't get into BS. No one has preference or anything like that. We all have to
exactly.
Sometimes. quick thing. Speaking of helping each other out, so the W Club takeovers are still just for W Club members, right? That hasn't changed this year.
What is the W Club takeovers?
So if somebody can't unfortunately afford
Oh,
to pay for their doll and
okay,
they
yeah.
want to,
Yes. Yes. So one of the things that we try to do is if you don't get access to the doll within particularly the forum, I've found that collectors are very helpful. There's usually somebody who, is maybe change their mind, or they don't have their money, or maybe they got two of them and now they only want one. And so there's an opportunity for you to allow another W Club member to take over your doll. And there's also an opportunity for you to get on the wait list. If it's a lottery, you'll automatically be in a next chance drawing. But if it's something like a made to order, then you would get on a wait list for that. So all those kinds of things, again, are perks primarily for the W Club first. Obviously, if there are leftovers beyond everyone in the club is satisfied, then that can be, but that doesn't happen a lot, but it can happen. So
yeah. So that's one thing too. If you weren't a member last year and you might want to sign up for the wait list, it's not guaranteed, but you might have a better chance than
yeah.
having to
And
pay.
by the way, there's a ton of stuff that is shipping like right after, I think, like in the next week or so. So it's going to be invoiced. So there's going to be a lot of stuff for you to get on the wait list for. There's probably a lot of takeovers that are going to be happening. And so it's a good chance to be able to, make those connections and maybe get some stuff that you missed out on, or you didn't even know that it existed. So
Yes.
yeah.
Carol, what's the best advice you could give to anybody who's trying to save up for their pre-orders? I think I know the answer, but I still want to ask you.
So I like a disciplined approach. I think that putting money away on a regular basis, pay yourself if you have a paycheck, out of every paycheck, and just put a little bit away every month.
Mm.
There are some of our club members who buy Integrity Toys gift certificates in the shopping cart, so they don't trust themselves with their dolly money, their dolly dollars. So they like to just kind of say, okay, we know that we're going to spend this with integrity. But again, that's completely up to you. You could, fund it in a PayPal account. You could fund it in a savings account. But if you do it on a regular basis, I mean, what you've pre-ordered, you have a general guess of the kind of stuff that might come out. So just, put yourself on a dolly allowance and do that on a regular basis. And that way, when something does come up, or when a bunch of stuff ships at one time, because supply chains, I know nobody wants to hear this, but they're still kind of crazy. They were crazy
Yeah.
before COVID. They're still crazy. That you're not caught off guard. So that would be my best advice. But ask other collectors as well.
No, I think saving is the best way to go around it. And there's different ways of savings. You can always do it with the banking. You can do it with whatever, but I do think gift cards are a great way to do it because they don't expire.
Don't expire, and then that money is directly going to your dolls, and you can't go spend it on like that cute sweater that you saw in the
Yeah,
window.
like
So.
NC Hammer said, you can't touch this.
Except for the dollies.
Yes, no, and I think that's a good idea. Well, I don't know. It's probably way too in advance, but if they were to happen at the event, would they be able to take gift cards at the event, or is that still totally in the air?
I will ask that question, though. We have a meeting coming up, so that's a great question. I have no idea. I mean, I would guess if they have access to the shopping cart, they might, but let me ask the question. It's interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because
Yeah.
if you guys aren't aware, they're asking a lot of questions right now at the integrity
Question.
page.
Well, here's the thing that's interesting. So I'm going to put this out there for all of you join the club. We have VIP customer service. We have an email and people who answer, who know the questions, or who ask people who know the answers. And the percentage of the club members that take advantage of this is much smaller. They like to make up stuff on their own or ask other people who aren't involved with the company. If you want to know the answer, we're super happy to tell you if we can put the information out. We put general information out at the same time. We're not going to tell you something that we're going to put out in a newsletter next week. But for a clarification point, email, that's what that service is there for. Some of you do a great job of taking advantage of that, and some of you just decide to make things up. So
yeah, well, if you guys are ever wondering where the money goes for the W Club, There's a lot of people that are being paid behind the scenes. There's a lot of web hosting, as you have
Yes.
probably like have said many times before.
Yeah.
And I'm probably one of the ones who drives them crazy at patient care.
Patient
But
care is so. To be fair, patient care is not us. That is Integrity Toys.
yeah, that is
So
integrity
that's
choice.
under their banner. We'll send you over there, but the club, other than telling you to go to patient care or to check in on them, that's their thing, and they do a great job. And the fact that one of the people who runs patient care is the same name as one of the dolls in real life, I think is one of the
Veronique.
funniest things. Veronique. Yeah, everybody thought she wasn't a real person for a really long time. And it's like, no, that's actually her name. She's
No,
French
yeah.
Canadian.
French Canadian, yes. And they're
Yeah,
really nice, even though
very
some
nice.
of us email them a lot. They still
No,
are.
but that's what they're
Yeah.
there for. And so I think our whether it's patient care or the people who are on the W Club team, like that's their job. So as long as you treat them respectfully, they will do that back. We have had, unfortunately, some
Oh,
situations
yes.
over the past few years where people come out and say really awful things or curse, and like we're the number one thing I want to communicate is we are on your side. Like, we are part of your team and we're going to do what we can, but like you got to treat us like we're on your side. We understand things can get really frustrating when you're passionate about stuff, but just like take a beat, sit on that email for like a few minutes, and then come back and just try and recommunicate the same thing in a different way so that we can get you the help that you need.
Yeah, and we're all humans at the end of the day. I think kindness
Yes.
is like so important. And I think that like the saying says you catch more honey with
You can catch more flies with honey.
you
Yes.
catch more flies with honey. Yes.
Yeah.
My
Yes.
sayings are always off.
We keep doing it, but you would catch more honey with what? What you
I
with
was gonna
bears?
say
I don't
bees. I
know.
was like, that doesn't make any sense.
That's a different saying.
No, that is a
But we
different
like
thing.
that.
Yeah. But I do have to say you guys should join, I think, because you do get really good support. I have to say that. The email support is really great. Bottom line, you're gonna get better deals than you would if you just bought your dolls on second markets, whether it be, fill in the blank. And I think it's a great deal for the budget. So
How many years have you been a member now, Sal? Do you know?
straight out of college, so 2015,
Wow. Okay.
2015, and I went to convention right away.
Yeah, so that's and you made a huge splash with all of your talents there. So
Oh, thank you.
everybody knew who you were pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a huge blessing, I think. But like, there's always way to budget it if it's something that you're passionate about. I remember like, maybe eating like a dollar burger like at the first conventions that I went to. But I think that if it's something you really want, you just have to make some sacrifices or you just have to make your way to
Priorities, absolutely. But
Yes.
it's super fun, and I think that's the takeaway. And I hope one of the things, this is something that is supposed to take people away from what's going on in the real world. It's supposed to add joy to people's lives. It showcases talent, both of the design team as well as collectors. And one thing that's great about Integrity's collectors is that they're not just in the box collectors. Everybody takes out, restyles, designs like you do. So, some of the photography is just like blow away amazing. So it really is this fully immersive experience. And I think if you go in with that perspective and you try to remember that this is something for your enjoyment, hopefully we can make some additions to your collecting experience and make that more positive for you.
No, and I think it is, and I think you guys really do a great job at, keeping it positive and kind and really looking out for the collector, which is not something that you see everywhere. But
That's the mission. That's the club's mission. It's as I said, I am the outsourced chief customer officer, and I speak for the collectors at the table, based on the team's feedback, based on your feedback, based on data, and do the best we can. So
yeah, and definitely let people know on the stories what you think about the feedback that you want to give them. So
excellent,
well,
excellent.
thank you so much, Carol, for your time. It's always great to have you, and you're always so kind.
No, thank you. And I appreciate, I mean, this is something very kind as well. I mean, you're willing to shine a light on the club. You're willing to help out other collectors. You're taking time out of your busy day to do this. So right back at you. Appreciate you a lot.
Thank you, and it's always great seeing you.
You
Bye.
too.